Hey, it's Penny Dreadful, and welcome to another installment of the Masters of the Universe Classics Wishlist series. Today we're taking a look at the mysterious and omniscient Scrollos from the UK Masters of the Universe comics. Scrollos was more than just a character. He was a friend to the audience. He broke the fourth wall and spoke directly to the young readers. Scrollos penned the introduction for each issue of the UK comics, and he answered the fan mail. He was also a presenter or host of the great origin stories from the secret files of Scrollos. His face was hidden in shadow most of the time, but his features were finally revealed during the transition to the New Adventures-based stories, where he becomes more involved in the events. In many ways, Scrollos was the alter ego of editor and lead writer Brian Clark, who created the character for the UK comics. Check out the awesome 3-part interview with Brian on my friend Aidan Cross's UK Masters of the Universe comics fan site. It's a really great resource for all kinds of information and reviews about the UK comics. In fact, for some background on Scrollos, I'll read you an entry from the Dark Horse Masters of the Universe character guide. The entry was written by Aidan Cross, who actually did the entries for all of the UK comics that appear in the book. Speaking of which, we conducted a ritual and summoned Scrollos from the stars to come back and write the introduction for the Dark Horse character guide. Anyway, here's the entry for Scrollos. Scrollos, the keeper of the scrolls, was tasked with chronicling all the battles between good and evil in the universe. Although he possessed infinite knowledge about Eternia, its history, its wars, and the heroes and villains who lived there, he never participated or intervened in the events himself. He merely observed from his secret space station, maintaining a record of everything on his computer. While his features were obscured in shadow for much of the series, he eventually revealed his face. Scrollos appeared human, with a glowing star on his forehead, and wore an eye-shaped brooch, perhaps representing his apparent omniscience. Now, Scrollos returned many years later in the Masters of the Universe Classics canon. In Classics, Scrollos was a cosmic watcher and purveyor of knowledge about the universe and its inhabitants, and he also broke the fourth wall in that he carried a satchel of letters full of questions from readers. He's appeared in several Classics bios, and Scrollos was even the one who heralded the return of the bios when they disappeared for a time. Here are some of the ones where he appeared, and he actually even becomes involved in the events of the End of War's Weapons Pack bio, so he plays a role in that bio. Personally, I think he would make for a great Classics figure, as you can see in this design by artist and animator Tom Brisky from the Flush website articles, which were written by Brian Charles Rooney. The different color decos here are represented because Scrollos appeared in different colored attire throughout the run of the UK comics. I'd say the green and red deco tended to be the main one, though. It's the most recognizable one, I'd say. But this is just such a great design for Scrollos, and you can see how he'd look in Classics. And Tom even offers release suggestions for the different color decos. Now, here's a 2000X style Scrollos by artist and writer Eric Marshall. This is really cool stuff. Even though it's not in the classic style, I wanted to include it just because it's cool. And here's a phenomenal figure design by Axel Jimenez, who created this design when he drew Scrollos in Masters of the Universe Classics mini-comic. So he created a Classics figure mock-up design for Scrollos as well. And this is just absolutely stunning and shows what Scrollos would surely look like if he were to be released in Classics. So what are your thoughts on this mysterious character? I'd really love to get him and several of the other characters from the UK He-Man and She-Ra comics in Classics. Right now, Classics is in an indefinite state of hibernation. Mattel has decided to put a stop to Classics for the time being. They asked Super 7 to stop producing any more Collector's Choice or Club Grayskull figures, dropped Mattel a line. Here's some contact information for them on the screens that I am putting up right now. You can get in touch with them, let them know how you feel about classics. I also put up some different options for release, such as through PowerCon. I think Scrollos would be a great PowerCon figure. All right, drop Mattel a line, let them know what you think, and good journey.